floor is yours.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. And I really appreciate this motion coming forward. You know, whether a letter has been sent or it has not been sent, or it's whatever that issue is, I think this is really important for us as a council to have a vote on something that you know, it's been out there in the media and it's being talked about for months and months and months, but particularly lately. So I really appreciate Councillor Collins and Councillor Ferguson bringing this forward. I find it almost embarrassing that there is, you know, this discussion going out on there outside of council that doesn't include council, that has not included council, that is really going to impact our residents. And, you know, it may not be this year, it may be next year, we don't know. And it is so important that we have that opportunity for Metrolinx to come in and chat with us. And yes, it took an awful long time before, but we're in a different place now. This is really serious. You know, we have LIUNA out there, as has been reported in the media. This is nothing new, that, you know, they're out there negotiating on behalf of council, it appears, which I find very embarrassing, to fund a project that we've had literally no input in. So it is high time that it has come back to us. You know, there's so many questions. There's property that's owned by LIUNA up and down the route. There's financial impact there. Are they going to be part of the bidding process? Is all of this being negotiated? And it's without us and without council's involvement. And from what I hear, without the mayor's involvement either. And, you know, I find that all very, very disturbing. There has been no direction coming from council for any of this to be going on. And I am very, very concerned about the impact that it is going to have on our residents going forward with any potential increase in taxes. And the fact that I'm hearing that the federal government, you know, is already, yeah, this sounds great. Well, we haven't been a part of it. So that's all I have to say. It is high time that that we took some control over what is going to be happening in our community. So I thank the movers very much. I'd be happy to third this as well, as I'm sure a couple of other people would around the table, and very much appreciate my colleagues' consideration of this, and very respectfully. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Partridge, and you can third it in indicating your vote when the vote is before you. So next up is Councillor Farr, please.
Are you catching me right now, Madam Chair?
We can hear you now. Yes.
Okay, thanks. Just quickly, I appreciate the motion. And just the previous speaker mentioned LIUNA. My question was with respect to LIUNA as well, and I'm just wondering through you to, I would suspect the Clerk Paparella, is it prudent then to, given the public, very public and supportive investments that they've pursued, that they wish to make, it appears at least through media, would it be prudent to welcome LIUNA to the same GIC that Metrolinx will be attending should this here motion pass?
Through you, Mr. Deputy Mayor, unfortunately, no, we do not invite delegations. When Metrolinx and or the MTO accepts, if LIUNA wishes to speak as a delegate, they would follow the same process as everyone else. We do have to keep that process the same for all members of the public.
Okay, that's why I ask, and I'm sure you know, myself or someone will make that suggestion, and they may be, I would suspect, giddy to come before us as well. So I appreciate that, and I'll support this motion. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Farr, and Councillor Clark, please.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Can I get an understanding as to exactly what the feds have offered the City of Hamilton for LRT?
So City Manager Smith or anyone else? Mayor Eisenberger?
Thanks. You know, at this point, absolutely nothing. other than they've expressed an interest to participate. And so there's nothing on the table, and these conversations are happening between the province and the feds, because the province actually put forward the LRT project as one of their priority projects in concert with the 5 other projects that they lumped together in Toronto. And that has ensued in terms of additional discussions with the federal government. To my understanding, at this point, no agreement has been made, and no funding has been put on the table. That is a conversation that's ongoing.
So do we know then, and I appreciate that, Mr. Mayor. So do we know then, is there an upper limit to the amount of funding that the feds are willing to put on the table? Like, is there a policy that they have to follow, or could they actually contribute $1.5 billion?
Thank you, Councillor Clark. I also just want to acknowledge that I see City Manager Smith is also on the line and prepared to answer questions as well. So I'll pivot to you, City Manager, and then Mayor Eisenberger, if there's anything else you want to add on the question as well, that would be welcome.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I just want to confirm, because I know the Mayor answered from his office and what they've heard. I want to let Council know that I have reached out several times to senior officials at the MTO to ask them about what are the next steps. I know what you know in terms of their press release out, that we've been included as part of those 5 projects being submitted to the feds, and I keep hearing information is coming, information will coming, and nothing has come to date.
Thank you for that, Councillor Clark.
I guess I just want to express my frustration, and it's not with anyone around this table, that this discussion between the province and the feds is going on while council has not endorsed any of the new proposals or alternative proposals or anything in terms of LRT in this term. So it's frustrating not being at the table as a council with a position as to how we wish to proceed, given that it would appear that any federal funding is based on municipal funding, and we don't even know the percentages of funding or what the request would be to the city. I do not understand what LIUNA is doing, because this is supposed to be an open bid that will happen through an RFP process. So I'm not sure exactly how a finance and union can be negotiating with the federal government on funding when we're committed to, as a municipality, an open RFP process on any of these things. So it's very confusing. I think it's causing confusion in the general public as well. And the sooner the federal government, provincial government, and the municipality can come to an agreement on what is on the table and what council needs to consider, I think the better would be for everybody. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Clark. No further speakers on the motion that's before us. Oh, Mayor Eisenberger?
Yeah, just to be fair, I mean, I don't want to get kind of pulled into a great debate here, because this is overtly caused by the province canceling this project in the first place. We have 0 staff now. All of the staff that we had working on this do not exist anymore. There isn't a single person that is heading up the LRT file on behalf of the City of Hamilton. So the conversations have been stilted by virtue of the fact that we don't have anybody that's in the know, consistently talking with the federal and provincial governments, other than, city manager that's asking for information, and myself that keeps asking for Minister of Transport, when are you going to come to the City of Hamilton and clarify what your direction is? The most recent direction we received was that they've added this as a priority project from their perspective to the federal government for, looking for a different funding model. That's as much as we know in terms of detail. And I think it's unfortunate that, a lot of the staff, we had great staff. And if you remember Chris Jacobson, who ironically now is working at Metrolinx, was, one of our great staffers that, kept us in the know and kept us in the loop. I do know that Andrew Hope still works here out of the GO station, and I think he would certainly be an individual that we'd very much want to have come representing Metrolinx to come and talk to us about what they're proposing, what they're suggesting, how they're kind of working through some of these issues that many of you have raised. So I'm as interested as you are to have them come here and start explaining, what it is that they're looking to achieve, and obviously at the end of the day they're looking to achieve, an LRT. So that's certainly not a surprise. I think it was unfortunate that they canceled this project in the first place, and then came back to a task force that our city manager was on and a number of other credible individuals in our community was on, and came back with higher order transit is the priority, should be the priority for the city of Hamilton, and then the province has taken it from there. So I hope that we get information from them sooner rather than later. I fully agree.
Thank you, Mayor. And no further speakers on the motion. The motion is before you electronically.
Through Madam
Yes.
Yes, through Madam Deputy Mayor, may I just ask clarification from Councillor Collins? Do you just want it to read that staff be directed, or would you like it to read that the city manager?
I'm comfortable with whatever Jeanette feels comfortable with, so take her direction in that regard.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, Councillor Clark.
What about the federal government? Because they have not discussed any of this with council, have not asked us any questions about it. This is just happening out there without our involvement. So will the federal government, the federal minister or ministry staff be invited also? Like, I'm struggling to understand exactly where we are on this, because none of it has come to council for a decision.
Thank you. So Elsie Pepperella, if you could just review the language of the motion that's before committee right now.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Mayor. The language that I currently have is that the city manager be directed to invite representatives from Metrolinx and the Ministry of Transportation to a future General Issues Committee to discuss LRT in Hamilton.
Thank you very much. So, and Councillor Clark, in terms of your question, are you proposing an amendment to the motion that's before us?
I guess I'm asking Councillor Collins his feelings on it because it's his motion.
Thank you. Councillor Collins?
Thank you. And my opinion at this stage is that this is a provincially driven project at this point. They've unilaterally changed it. They've unilaterally sent the funding request to the federal government. And I think we need certainly answers as to why that's occurred. And, like many of my colleagues, I'm not certain there's support on council or in the community for a revised project. So I'm anxious to hear how they foresee this project going forward without any City of Hamilton support, because as we all know, we've never been a part of the operating or capital budget related to this project. And so lots of questions, to be clear, Councillor Clark, and there's obviously lots of conversation now about when those investments be better served investing in our citywide transit system. So I understand that. I understand how the feds have been kind of thrown into the mix, but I'm not certain what they would have to disclose, because right now they've just been asked for funding. And I think right now this project has been largely led and guided by the provincial government and their bureaucrats. Sorry.
Thank you. And so I just want to acknowledge that there's the conversation is spurring more requests for speaking. So I just want to name that Councillor Ferguson is a first-time speaker requesting, and Mayor Eisenberger, you would be a second time on the motion. So Councillor Ferguson.
I thought I still had the floor.
Oh, my apologies, Councillor Clark. I thought you were complete.
No, thank you. And I just wanted to indicate to Councillor Collins that I understand his rationale and I'll support the motion. Hopefully the province can provide us information on the funding model that they're discussing with the federal government. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Ferguson.
Yeah, I support the resolution. Obviously, I second it. And, since the start of this program, a main reason that some members of council, including myself, come on side, it was 100% funding from the province. And of course, I see them turning to the federal government for their share. And if you look at projects in the past of this type, these infrastructure projects, 40% federal, and then 30% come from the province and the balance from the municipality. And so it does concern me that I hear all this discussion going on about a reduced route down to Gage Park up to McMaster University and going to the federal government for money. But I'm just curious to know, are they now going to be looking for the city for millions of dollars too? And I'd feel more comfortable if I had the answer to that now. So I support the motion.
Thank you. Mayor Eisenberger.
So just so you know that whenever I'm asked about this project, and you will know that I'm fully supportive, and I think ran on a mandate to do this in the last election pretty strong. In fact, that the answer to both levels of government when they ask is that there cannot be a capital contribution from the City of Hamilton. That's not the basis of this project. The only thing that we did and did commit to through our memorandum of understanding was the annualized operating, which was in the order of $5 or $6 million. That was clearly something that the city had said that was an area of responsibility they were prepared to commit to, and nothing has changed on that. So I agree that this is a provincially driven process at this point. They canceled the project. They came back and put a task force in place. They've indicated their desire to continue to move forward on this, and so they're going to need to explain how they're proceeding on this, because we certainly don't have any staff that have a high level of understanding of where they've been at. But in answer to your question, Councillor Ferguson, whenever I'm asked, it's no capital dollars from the City of Hamilton.